What up, everyone? So we've got a brand new block here, kinda, and it's the old arcade block slash the new gamer block. So the Nerd Block company has split their arcade block into two different blocks. Apparently people were requesting it. I never heard the request, so I'm not too sure about it, but they're splitting it up between an E for everyone box and an M for mature box. So I'm actually getting both this month. This one just showed up. I'm getting the M for mature one as well, just to compare and see which one I like best, because I always got arcade block, and I'm not going to get two gamer blocks, so I'm going to see which one I think would be better for me, but the M for mature one won't be here for like another week or so. But in the meantime, we got this one. This one just showed up, and I usually don't review things right when they show up, but I'm usually one of the last people to get any of the Nerd Block boxes, so it should be okay to do now as far as value and things like that. But let's open this up and see what we got. I always liked arcade block, though. It always did pretty good. Of all the blocks that they offered, that was always one of my favorite, but you know, you never know. I'm starting to like comic block more and more, so I may end up switching that out because it just gets too expensive after a while. So let's see what we got in this one. Alright. First off, a shirt. No surprise there. Shirt punch, I'm assuming. Yup. And this one is from Rock Band. Let's take a look. That. Alright. So it seems like a cool shirt. I haven't played Rock Band in I don't even know how long. It's been quite a while. I'm not even sure they're still doing Rock Band games, but it was always a fun game. I always liked it, but it's just been a long time. But it was a good game. Classic game. I like that. You know, I don't know if anyone would recognize that, because I know on the shirt they have the characters that they had in the game, and I don't think anyone really recognizes those specific characters. But, you know, whatever. Seems like a decent shirt. We'll come back to that and give it a value after the break. Let's see what else we got in here. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. So, this kind of looks like a game. I wonder if this is a Steam game code. Let's see. 1 for players. Is there something in there? So maybe this is actually a hard disk game. Oh no, there's instructions on here. Yep, this is a Steam game code. So they did mention that that these boxes will start having game codes in them, which I'm actually not a real big fan of, because that's part of the reason that I stopped getting, what box was it? I can't even remember, it was so long ago. But there was a box that regularly put Steam game codes in there, and they're fine. It's nothing wrong with these games. They're cool games and all, but they only really hold value if you're planning on playing those games. And if it doesn't, it's kind of worthless. It's almost like a coupon code, which that's pretty much what it is. It's like getting a coupon for anything when they put coupons for Shirt Punch in there, and it's like, if you happen to be going on Shirt Punch, then yeah, that's worth what it is, but if you're not, then it's just garbage. It's completely useless to you. And it's the same about Steam game codes. Like I said, I have nothing against any of these games. I just don't have time to go play a bunch of new games all the time. I barely have time to play the ones I like to play. I don't even have time to watch like TV shows I want, because life's just busy. You just don't have time for all these things. So I've never personally been a fan of these, but you guys will have to let me know what you guys think. And I'm assuming they're going to start putting Steam game codes in all the boxes, and I'm also assuming that's part of the value as well, so that's kind of unfortunate, but hopefully it doesn't take up too much of the value, but we shall see. Alright, moving on. Oh, we got a little plush. He's heavy, full of beans. We got a little Parappa the Rapper. Good stuff. And I hear, from what I did hear, they're going to do a new version of this or something like that, bringing this back in one way or another, which I think is cool. I really liked Parappa. I thought it was a fun game. It's very soft. Nice. So I got a little plush Parappa. There we go. Alright, let's see what else we got. A bow tie. A Pac-Man bow tie. So I think these are really cool, actually. I like bow ties, but I just never wear them, because it's like, when do you wear one? I wear regular ties. If I wear button-up shirts, I usually put a tie on it, but I'm never usually ballsy enough to put on a bow tie. But, you know, maybe I could start. I don't know if this is like, yeah, it looks like it's a clip-on one. That's still cool. I like that, but I don't think most people wear ties in general, and if they do, it's usually not bow ties. But I still like the idea of them, so that's still pretty cool. So there's that. Then we got a pin from our gamer block. This is pretty cool. I like this pin. Got the 3 little hearts from Legend of Zelda, and 1/2 of them. So I'm actually starting to get into pins too. I've started collecting pins and putting them on cork boards, because before I didn't care, but now that I'm using them, I kind of like them. And this is very well done. I like that. Very cool. And we got our $10 off shirt punch code. And it looks like that was everything in here. And, you know, this brings me to my next point. I kind of assumed this before I ever got it. This is some advice that I gave to the Nerd Block. And it's always funny. Every time I give the Nerd Block advice, they always implement it. I can't help but think that they are actually watching my videos, because every time I've given advice, they've done it. And Arcade Block, with any gaming block, there was always this conflict of classic games versus modern games. So I kind of assume, I don't know for sure, that that's what this E and M thing is, because I think it's going to be classic games versus modern games inadvertently. Because most modern games are mature and sometimes higher. Not always, but more often than not, a lot of them are mature, and classic games were never mature. So inadvertently, they may not have been doing it on purpose, but it seems so far so good that the E for Everyone block is going to be classic game, and the M for mature is going to be modern games. Which I hope that's what it is, because that would make it an easy decision for me. Because Arcade Block kind of stuck to classic, but they went more into the modern, so maybe this is what's going to differentiate them, and I think that's a good choice if that's what they're doing. If it's literally just based on E rating and M mature rating, then it doesn't really make too much sense. So hopefully that's what they're doing. That's the advice I've always given them, so we'll see what that is. But from what we've seen here, we got Parappa, Pac-Man. Steam game codes are obviously modern, they're not classic, but Rock Band I consider kinda classic. And then Legend of Zelda. And I'm guessing the M for mature one's not going to have any classics, because none of those were rated M for mature. Like, the first one I knew that was rated M was like Conker's Bad Fur Day or something like that. So I'm kind of thinking that's what's going to happen. But we won't know for sure until we get the M for mature block. But just throwing that out there, I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for. And I think that's a good idea. And that was my advice to them. Anyway, so that was all the items in the box. Not a lot of items, pretty skimpy to be quite honest, but we'll take a short little break and then we'll come back, talk about some value, and give this box a rating. See you soon. Alright, we are back. Let's talk about some value on these items. First, the shirt from Rock Band. Decent shirt, not super recognizable, quality on it's decent, pretty well there. But like I was saying, I don't think the characters are that recognizable from the game. As far as the rating on the shirt, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was okay. It's a decent shirt, decent quality, but, you know, not super, like, special. I don't think anyone would be, like, dying to get it or anything like that. Next, our plush, Parappa the Rapper. This is not exclusive, actually, and it actually goes for a decent amount. Like I was saying, this is branded itself, and this was going for, like, 13 bucks. Like, that's pretty much the cheapest I saw it. And some of these values do seem a little high. I'm usually the last one to get these boxes, but there wasn't a lot of information out there yet, so that makes me think that there will be in the near future, and these values will drop a little bit. So I imagine that'll drop down, because that seems a little high for just a plush, but it is pretty nice in quality. Like I was saying, the material it's made of is very nice. It's pretty heavy. It's got the beans in it, and it's branded and everything like that. So it's not outrageously priced, but I do imagine that price will come down quite a bit. So right now it's at $13. Next, our little bow tie. This is at about 7 to 10. I think this will come down a few dollars as well. But you know, 7 to 10 is not that bad for a bow tie. If you were legitimately trying to buy one, it would honestly cost at least that, if not more. So I think that's a decent value. But like I was saying, either not that many people got this box, or maybe some people just haven't gotten it yet. Either way, there wasn't a lot of information out there, like I was saying, so that leads me to believe one of those two options. But I think the price could come down a little on that as well. Then, our game code. So these were always really hard to value. The box that I was talking about was Geek Fuel. I used to get that back in the day. It was a good box, but as time went on, I just wanted to switch it out for other things. Couldn't afford all the boxes I was getting, so I wanted to try some new stuff. And it was always decently priced, but they always put in Steam game codes every single time. And the good news about that box is they never made it part of the value. They usually always gave double the value regardless of the Steam game code, because I think they realized that maybe not everyone uses it. So the bad news is that NerdBlock actually makes this part of the value. This isn't just treated as like a coupon or anything or a code. It's actually one of the items in there. There was only 5 items total, this being one of them. So that's the downside to it, because the ironic part about this is if it's only worth something if you plan on playing that game, if you plan on using it, if you have time for it, so on and so forth. But, you know, that's only up to you. The full price on Steam is $15 for this, but I'm not going to value it even close to that because they always have sales going on where they put a bunch of them on clearance. You get them for super cheap. So the highest I'm going to value this is about $10 because you can find this that people that get this in the box and want to sell it online for dirt cheap. The most I can imagine you paying for it is probably $10, if even that. And then on the low end, it's technically $0. That's what it's worth. If you're not using this, this has no value to you. It's literally just a piece of paper. So you would probably have a hard time selling it as well because same situation, someone would want to have to play that very specific game and then come and try to buy it online. So that's what always throws off the value because the value on the low end is always going to be $0, and on the high end, this one's $10, and the games always vary. So it's kind of up to you, the viewer, whether you value this or not. If you don't like Steam game codes or you just don't have time like me, it's worth nothing. But if you play games all the time, you always want to try new stuff, you're on Steam, you're a member, then it's probably worth like $10. So that's up to you guys to implement your own opinion on that, but that's the range in value. And then the last one, the pin. I really like this pin. It's a very nice pin. This is probably my favorite item in the box, honestly. This one goes for about $7 or $8, which is pretty common for pins. That's a pretty approximate value for pins. They're always right around that $7 or $8 range. Now, the only things that were exclusive in this box were the shirt, obviously, it always is. Then the game code. It said it was exclusive, but I'm not sure how that's exclusive because you can buy it straight off Steam, so I'm not sure what made this an exclusive game code. It doesn't really explain there. So it says exclusive because it says it on there, but literally the only thing exclusive about it is this little box that it's in. You can go on Steam and buy it for $15, so I don't know how that makes it exclusive. I'm not quite sure. And the only other thing was the pin. And again, that's always exclusive. So not really good on the exclusivity here. Value-wise, on the low end, it's only going to be at $39, and this is a $30 box. On the high end, that's at $56, which is like pretty common price for this box, but that's only if you are going to use the Steam game code, not just to try it out, but to actually play the game to its entirety. If you just go on Steam and try it out for like a day, I don't think that's worth the value of it. I don't think that's worth the $10 or $15 or whatever. So that's kind of where you have to put in your own personal taste there. So even on the high end, it's not that great on the value. And if they're going to put a Steam game code in every single box, I honestly don't think I'm going to keep this box around because I don't want that taking up value because it has no resale value. And what if it's a crappy game? Like, they're just putting in random games in there. Some of them might be good, but some of them might be total shit. Like, you have no way of knowing until you use that code. And once you've used that code, you can't take it back. Once it's used once, it's done. And what if that happens to be a crappy game? Then what are you going to do? You can't resell it. You don't want to play that game, and that's just garbage. So I'm really against the whole Steam game code thing, so I'm not a big fan of that whatsoever. If I really wanted to play it, I'd go find it out myself. So I'm just not a fan of that. It seems like they're going to put one in each box, and I don't like that whatsoever. And you guys let me know what you guys think about that as well. And it would be one thing if it wasn't taking up value and it wasn't a full item in the box when there's already only 5 items, but it is. So far, not so good. We'll see if they have a code in the M for Mature box as well. But yeah, this one seemed more on the classic side, but value wasn't great, and I don't think the items were that great. They've been good lately about doing all exclusives. This one definitely wasn't. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10, just right in that middle range. I don't think it was terrible, but I don't think it was good either. You guys let me know what you thought, though, because like I said, it's up to you, the individual, whether that code's worth anything or not. And I'll have to look on the website and see if they said it's going to be in every month. If it is, definitely not keeping it. It's not worth the value. Like they did before when they passed off one of their own Shirt Punch coupons, a $10 coupon, as an item in the box, and it's like, no, that's total bullshit, man. That's not an item. Don't try to pass it off as one of the items in the box. So they've done that before. They're doing it again. Not a fan of the Nerd Block and how they do that with their boxes. But, you know, we'll see. Anyway, this has been the Gamer E for Everyone box. 6 out of 10 on the shirt, 5 out of 10 on the box. Let me know what you guys think about the code, and we'll revisit this value and this number rating in the monthly review. Anyway, thank you for watching and supporting. Until the next video, love you all. Peace.